What if all the ice melted at once? One morning without warning, it happens. Not over centuries, not over decades, but in a single surreal moment. Every glacier, ice sheet, and frozen ocean on Earth turns to water. Greenland liquefies, Antarctica vanishes into the sea, the Arctic becomes an open expanse of stormy waves, and no one saw it coming. The ice didn't drip or thaw, it surrendered. At first, there's a strange silence, then sirens, then screaming. Within hours, coastlines redraw themselves. Major cities begin to drown. New York disappears from the ground up, floor by floor, glass towers reflecting an ocean that shouldn't be there. London's underground becomes a cold, quiet trench. Tokyo vanishes beneath typhoons that ride the rising tides. Entire nations shrink while others, once locked in snow, find themselves suddenly fertile, green, and terrifyingly exposed. Global sea levels rise by about 66 meters. That's over 200 feet. It's enough to swallow Florida, Bangladesh, the Netherlands, most of Denmark, and large parts of China and India. Hundreds of millions lose their homes not over generations but before breakfast. Satellites watching from above see entire coastlines blur and collapse like ink dropped into water. But the water is just the beginning. As ice melts, the Earth's reflectivity, or albedo, crashes. White surfaces that once bounced sunlight back into space are gone. The newly exposed land and ocean absorb heat, speeding up the warming. Temperatures rise like a fever. Global climates spiral. Monsoons go rogue. Droughts hit places that once overflowed. Deserts expand as forests collapse, and ancient diseases awaken. Hidden for millennia beneath Arctic permafrost, long-forgotten pathogens stir. Some are harmless, others are not. Scientists scramble to identify what's been released. Panic spreads faster than facts. Vaccines don't yet exist for what's never been encountered. Some communities isolate themselves not because of infection, but fear. Meanwhile, infrastructure buckles. Bridges were not built to withstand rising seas. Dams crumble under pressure they were never meant to face. Saltwater invades freshwater systems, poisoning agriculture. Food chains crack, crops drown or wither. Fish populations migrate or die out entirely. What was once sustainable becomes a myth overnight. The human response is chaotic. At first there's disbelief, then confusion, then anger. Governments scramble to form elevation corridors, designated paths inland where survivors can flee. But the inland isn't ready. Cities swell beyond capacity. Power grids overload. A new kind of refugee is born, climate evacuees. Some nations offer aid. Others build walls, not against people but against tides. And then come the salvage wars. With old capitals underwater, some nations collapse. Others see opportunity. Naval bases become seats of power. Whoever controls the floating world now controls the world. Resource battles erupt over freshwater, farmland, and high ground. Drones map what used to be cities, now graveyards of steel beneath the waves. Satellites show new islands forming from debris, entire floating communities scavenging whatever they can. But not everything is destruction. Humanity, as always, adapts. New cities rise on cliffs and mountains, places once too remote or too cold. Siberia blooms. Greenland becomes green. Antarctica, now ice-free, becomes a contested frontier, its ancient rock beds rich with minerals and possibility. Engineers develop floating farms, vertical desalination towers, and wave energy grids. An international project begins, the Ark Initiative, a series of floating supercities tethered to the seafloor, designed to withstand rogue waves and provide shelter for climate exiles. Culturally, everything shifts. Old maps become historical artifacts. Schoolchildren no longer study continents the way we did. Entire mythologies are born around the drowned earth, what was lost, what was reclaimed, and what should never be repeated. Holidays are invented not to celebrate victories, but survival. And then slowly something else changes. Without polar ice, Earth's rotation subtly shifts. The weight of water redistributed across the planet causes a micro-wobble, altering tides and time. Days become shorter by fractions of a second, but enough to require corrections in satellites and clocks. The moon's influence over our oceans weakens slightly. Even the stars shift in their pattern just a little. People look up, and the night sky is not quite where it used to be. In this new world, the memory of ice becomes sacred. Sculptures, data archives, and even synthetic glaciers are preserved in domes, not for cooling, but for remembering. Because the question is no longer, what if all the ice melted? But what did we lose when it did? And beneath the waves, schools of fish swim through what was once Times Square. Coral grows on the remains of the Eiffel Tower. Statues of presidents and poets erode slowly in silence. And somewhere deep below, encased in the stillness of sediment, an old globe rests in the dark, its blue ice caps faded, a map of a world that no longer exists.